Hello, I'm Enrico from the group Reindeers and Romance. So our game it's called Blindspot, and it's a game about piloting a drone through a nuclear plant where an accident happened, and you have to fix the leakages. The nuclear leakages to succeed in your mission. The problem is that the camera on the drone that you are using to navigate in this nuclear plant is broken. So your only way to know where you are going is to hack into the surveillance cameras of the plant, or use pictures of the plant taken before the accident. So like one concept that we liked for this game was to use also material from outside the game itself to play, and so we decided to use images, screenshot, that the player has to analyze and compare with what he can see on screen to like slowly solve the puzzle and understand what he has to do in order to progress. Yeah, so this is like the main premise of the game. Of course, as you can see here, like since the pictures were taken before the accident, the leakage is not visible on screen at all time. Like it's only visible on the cameras, but not in the pictures. So the way you find it and the way also you navigate through the level is based a lot on sound. For example, you can hear the sound of a Geiger counter when you get close to a leakage, and so that can help you to find those. But also, like when you enter in any areas or like you touch any object that is interactable, you will hear like a sound to understand that you can interact with it. And also, like while you walk, you can hear like the jumping sound and the walking sound, just to understand if you're stuck on an obstacle or not. So like yeah, sound is a very important part of the game. Yeah, so what I personally did for the game was to start the death and the game over flow macro, and also like the scene reload. Then I did like on trigger enter and on trigger exit super units that have been used in like a lot of different other scripts or macros, where like for example when you enter in a leakage, like when you touch a part where there is a leakage, you hear a dling to understand that you can interact with it. Then I need like the fixing mechanic itself, so that when you get close to a leak, you can press F to fix it, and the UI updates. And you need to have to have found all the leaks in order like to enter the door at the end of the level and progress to the next one. And yeah, so like the game has a total of 4 levels, and I focused on the first one after the intro, so level 1. Yeah, I started by doing it on Figma, and then we did it on Unity. And in that level I also managed to make all the assets ready to be used in the next ones. So put the right material, the sound and that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is pretty much what I did. I think now Patrick can tell you a bit about his part.
Yeah, hello. So I started up with making the camera function to work. When you come close to this console, you can activate the next camera. So these consoles have a trigger to the camera macro. When you press F, you move the camera to a different position, and I probably did not make it in the most practical way, but it works. The problem was probably when you have a lot of camera and a lot of levels. We have different macros for different cameras and levels, so it got a bit confusing, but it works fine. I also did the key and door function. So when you pick up a key, you can open a door, and it adds and removes the key depending on if you have opened the door or not. And I worked a bit on the sound effects for the doors and the cameras, and let's see, yeah, and I worked on the second level and the intro level on the game. I tried to work a bit on footsteps, but got stuck. So Enrico managed to fix that later, because we didn't want to get stuck on one part of the game. Yeah, so that's basically what I did, I think. So
Okay.
maybe
Yeah, yeah, we love that we just kept the cube as our player, because we thought that implementing like an animation would take maybe like too much time, and we prefer to put that time like in the game mechanics and in making them work as best as we could, instead of like maybe creating ourselves too many problems with the animations.
Yeah. We looked into the animations in the beginning, but after like an hour or two, we realized this is gonna take too much time.
Yeah.
That.
Okay, so Adam.
Yes. So my name is Adam, and I began doing the ground checks in the game with ray tracing and such, but it became kind of inconsistent. So I had to let Enrico fix it, and now it works perfectly. I also added some sounds to the game. I was searching for assets, models I added, but yeah, I just added them into the game. I also made one of the levels. I also made the start menu, or the script for the start menu, like play game and such. But other than that, yeah, that was.
Yeah, maybe we could talk a bit about the changes we made.
The ground check was one of them.
Yeah, the ground check. A lot of sound changes, I think we did. In the beginning, we have every interactable object had the same sound, so you didn't really know what you were interacting with. Only that something was interactable.
Yeah. And I think that also for the design of the levels, we try to give as many indication as possible through the sound, because the saw chains themselves have a sound, and it is like a three-dimensional sound, so you can hear them in your headphone, and if you're to your right or to your left, and you can also understand how close you are, so that even when you are like in a screen, like when you are off screen, if you have an image as a reference, you can understand where to go and how much close you are to the different parts. And in general, we try to also like a lot in level 1 and in the others. After testing, we tried to make it so that the player didn't have to make too precise movements on off-screen parts of the game, but they still had to be movements that the player wouldn't be able to do randomly, let's say like without any hint. So yeah.
Yeah, we didn't want to make the platforming too difficult off screen because yeah, you can't see anything. So the platforming in itself is pretty basic, but it's still challenging since you can't see.
Yeah. I think that it gets progressively quite harder. So I think we did quite well on that.
So I think we spent a lot of time balancing the difficulty of the game. At least I did. The positioning of the cameras and such had to be pretty on spot maybe. And sometimes I moved some leaks, so you know kind of where you were because you heard, here's a leak, and then I'm probably over here. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think that should be all. I don't want to make the video too long, otherwise Joel is going to be angry. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting project to work on, like quite experimental, and yeah, I think it is like one project that a prototype is needed to understand maybe how fun it actually is. Yeah, but I think that's all. So yeah, thank you for watching, I guess.
Bye.
Bye.